This is Mags on Media and some brand news in brief now. Photographer Justin Bettman wanted to create an elaborate set to bring his creative ideas to life, but he didn't have the funds to rent an expensive studio. So he took to the streets of New York. After building and photographing a set, he leaves it on the sidewalk with a note encouraging passers-by to take their own pictures and to upload them to Instagram using the hashtag #SetInTheStreet. And since February this year, it's been illegal to use your phone while driving in Sweden. But despite this law, there's been no change in the number of Swedish road accidents. Enter Volkswagen and the agency Nord DDB, who came up with an eye-catching execution to highlight the dangers of using your phone while driving.
I was just reading my group chat, and when I looked up again, the car in front of me was it was too close.
It's good, eh? Give it a crack.
Very good, it's really good.
Really, really good.
Yeah, big time, man. No, it's really nice beer.
Got to be patriotic. It's right up there.
Australian beers, tops.
It's just tip top.
It could take on the world. It's that good.
I just had that fruity taste. Loved it.
Yeah.
Just fair dinkum, best beer you can get.
Locally now, and during the much contested test match between cricket rivals South Africa and Australia, the Newlands Spring Brewing Company came out with a very clever, some might say devious ploy to get the Australians to admit that South African beer is the best. Well, Alistair Hewitt is with us, Global Brands Director at AB InBev. Welcome, nice to talk to you. First of all, the company itself, the Newlands Spring Brewing Company, what is it?
It's a little craft brewery in Newlands, Cape Town. And we brew 4 variants there.
And the thinking behind this particular campaign was what?
The thinking was to create a lot of noise with a little bit of money. Craft brewers don't have a lot of resource. Yeah. And so we wanted to make a noise, and we worked with our agency, King James, to do just that.
So what exactly did you do, Alistair? How did you contrive then to hoodwink a nation of beer drinkers?
We Googled and we found that there was another Newlands in Perth, in Western Australia.
Another microbrewery or craft brewery?
A craft brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we put a cameraman on an aeroplane and sent him to Perth, to Newlands, with 10 cases of Newlands Spring Brewery from South Africa. And then we got a publican to stock our Newlands and then do some tastings with local patrons of that particular bar.
Is there a difference then in the packaging between the two products? There must be.
Very different.
But once you've had a couple of beers, you're not really that interested in the packaging anyway, I imagine. So how did the tasting work out then? What happened at those particular events?
So the local pundits absolutely loved it. And obviously we interviewed them on camera, which made them feel really special.
Making sure that they mentioned the brand,
exactly.
Yes? Okay. And how much they liked it.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And then obviously afterwards we told them that it was not their Newlands, it was South African Newlands.
And the response was?
It was incredibly disappointing, obviously, but they were good sports. They played along and they actually gave us consent to flout the...
Yeah, I was going to say, some might say better than the cricket team itself, but we don't need to go down that particular, avenue. What was the strategic intent of something like this? I mean, is the idea just to have a little bit of fun, you know, to pull the chain, to get a bit of publicity, or is there something more important than that?
So, you know, Newlands Spring is all about legend. So we talk to the legends that were the pioneers of brewing in the Newlands Valley. Anders Olsons and Jacob Letterstedt and people that like invented beer in our country. And you and I know that there's a beautiful colloquial expression about what a legend or what a boykie.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the legend is to create that story.
So the intention is to build on something like this, or is this just kind of a one-off thing? Or, Alistair Hewitt, are you waiting for some sort of revenge campaign from the brewery with the same name down under?
No, I think all of the above. I think it is to build the legend story, so there's some very clever new campaigns that will follow this, and it would be nice if the Aussies had a go at us in Perth, Australia.
I think what's tickled our fancy about this particular campaign is that we wish more of this type of thing was done, where brands feel comfortable enough in their own success to have some fun, poke some fun at rivals, but also not take themselves too seriously. We don't do enough of that, do we?
I agree, and you know, beer is fun, and you should be able to poke a bit of fun and have some enjoyment, and this campaign has been just that, and it's been quite a breakout of our normal conventional sort of safe advertising, I guess.
Was that a bit of a debate around the marketing table, that some people were saying, whoa, hang on, you know, this is also attached to a big global holding company, there could be a little bit of risk attached to something like this, or do you just run free rein on a
One of the nice things about a craft brewery is we've got more free rein to do clever things, and AB InBev are really good at allowing us the opportunity to do something like that.
Put on your serious marketing hat as we finish this conversation, Alistair Hewitt. From a marketing perspective, why did this work? Why do you think you gained so much traction? Because as you rightly say, little money, one camera person to Australia. This wasn't a difficult setup. It was just based on one very clever idea.
And credit to King James, who came up with the idea. I think the serendipity of the campaign, tapping into the third test, and we never realised the rivalry would be that tense. So we knew there would always be tense rivalry.
That worked in your favour, didn't it?
But that was, it was on the field, off the field. And, you know, later on we even congratulated the cameraman who was the guy that got the ball tampering going and said, you know, we've caught the Australians twice in a week. So it wasn't a very good week for Australia, I have to say.
Did you send a case of the stuff to the Aussie change room?
We sent a case to the guys back in Perth to thank them, and some memorabilia.
All right. Alistair Hewitt, Global Brands Director at AB InBev, thank you very much indeed. It's just another example of clever thinking and also having a bit of fun in advertising, which I think sometimes we tend to lose the plot in that respect. Thank you for joining us. Next on the programme, the Advertising Standards Authority joins us and responds to a Supreme Court of Appeal ruling on this much discussed Herbex slimming product case. That's next. This is Magzone Media.